X LOTRO Dev sounds off on Turbine, Sony reiterates their free-to-play focus. All that and more, I'm Zach Sharps, and this is Free-to-Play Weekly. Ever hear of a DC Comics-based MOBA called Infinite Crisis? If you answer no to that question, I do forgive you, but regardless, Turbine has officially set a launch date for the game. The free-to-play title will be officially launched on March 26th, and the game will be available on Steam that same day, and thankfully, the move to launch will not have any wipes, so you'll retain any progress you made thus far. Also, beta testers will be rewarded with the Flashpoint Doomsday costume 1 to 2 days after the 26th, and Turbine states that this costume is exclusive only to beta testers and will never be on the shop, which is pretty cool. If you're curious what Turbine has planned after launch, they stated that they'll continue to update the game with new features, champions, costumes, and optimizations on a consistent schedule. Overall, I played Infinite Crisis not too long ago, and the one thing I had an issue with was population. How bad of an issue? Up to an hour wait per game during off hours and 20 minutes plus during prime time. Hopefully that was just a beta issue, and possibly Steam exposure will help the game out, because quite honestly it's fun, it's just, it takes a while to get into a game. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. The Tad Williams-inspired MMORPG from Drago Entertainment Otherland is ready for its next round of beta testing. As of this week, Drago has implemented new quests and content for beta testers to bug test. 2 major changes will be live during this beta as well, the first of which is that DPS formulas have been completely overhauled based on feedback, and the second is that the new auction house system has been added just in time for the crafting system to be ready to test. In the past free-to-play weeklies, I've expressed interest in this MMORPG, and I will certainly continue to follow it. If we find out anything new here at MMOBomb.com, we'll be sure to let you know. How do you beat a major competitor? You enter the competition, and it appears Wizards of the Coast is doing just that. Being that Hearthstone has dominated the online client-based card game realm for a little while now, the dominator of the physical card game realm wants its slice of the pie. Thus, this week, Wizards of the Coast has introduced a Magic the Gathering free-to-play game called Magic Duels Origins. The game itself will offer solo and multiplayer modes, including the popular two-headed giant mode, a quest system with weekly challenges, playable planeswalker cards, and a payment system where everything is earnable. With Wizards of the Coast already dabbling with the online market through Magic Online, they certainly do have some experience. However, everything in that game costs money, where in the new iteration, everything will be earnable. All I know is it's going to be very interesting to see how well the 22-year-old king of card games can compete with the new kid on the block. Speaking of the new kid on the block, last week on the show we discussed data mine content for Blizzard's online trading card game Hearthstone, and it appears that the data mine content was very accurate, because this week Blizzard has announced a new single-player adventure called Black Rock Mountain. Coming next month, Black Rock Mountain will feature 5 new wings and 17 boss fights, 9 new clash challenges, heroic mode bosses, and 31 new cards. Each wing will cost 700 gold or $6.99, and you can pre-order the full adventure starting March 19th for $24.99, which will net you a unique card back. All in all, new content is always a great thing, and it looks like Blizzard is wanting to throw a lot more your way. This week, a former Lord of the Rings Online Systems QA employee going by Elwin has penned a long series of posts over on the LOTRO community forums. In those posts, he calls out several current and former Turbine employees by name and painted a generally pessimistic picture of the work environment that exists at the LOTRO developers' home base. I'm only going to highlight bits and pieces of it. However, if you want to read every bit of the postings, make sure to check out our description below for the article I'm referencing. The first thing I want to cover is Elwin's claim that player vs monster combat has been knowingly neglected for years and wasn't even planned on until marketing stepped up and insisted on some form of player vs player combat. Elwin cites that after they implemented, only 7% of players actually participated in it. Also later discussed is that Infinite Crisis, the MOBA that we were talking about earlier in the show, costs $4 million a month to develop, and at its peak concurrency and open beta has only hit 1,000 users playing at one time. No wonder why I felt it was dead. The worst of what's noted here is that if LOTRO ever comes to an end, it's going to be sudden, considering Turbine doesn't want microtransactions to halt before its death. This brings us to the last highlight. At one point, Turbine pitched a Harry Potter MMO to Warner Brothers, but it was turned down, thus allowing it to be our question of the week. Last week on the show, I asked if Kickstarter pages should be held as contracts or should buyers just beware. A user by the name of Shane Morris stated the following: I think investing in a Kickstarter is definitely a buyer beware situation. It's not like going somewhere where you know there's consistency like a fast food joint. It's more like trying out a new place that just opened up down the road. Comparisons could be made about what you know and the new place, but it was your choice to try the new place. Thanks for your response, Shane, and if you want your question possibly featured in next week's episode, make sure to leave your comment down below. This week's question is, with Turbine originally wanting to do a Harry Potter MMO, do you feel that it would have been a fitting universe? Why or why not? I personally feel that its universe is vast enough to do an MMO, but I feel unless it's done 100% correct, it would turn into another cash grab pay-to-win Facebook game. Yes, all three of those combined. Sounds like a nightmare, huh? For our last news segment of the week, with GDC not too long ago, Sony's senior account executive Sarah Thompson reiterated Sony's commitment to the free-to-play model, especially on PS4. Thompson stated the following: I think that it's going to be a really big chunk of our revenues in the next few years, 3 to 5 years, and it's already growing at amazing rates that are really quite surprising. I think that it's really taking us where we need to be as a company. As a company, we do fully believe in free-to-play. This comment from Sarah Thompson is quite intriguing, especially after Sony sold off Sony Online Entertainment very recently. But who knows, maybe the royalty from being on the console was worth more than upkeeping an entire studio. Well guys, that does it for the news this week. We have a new giveaway posted on mmobomb.com, so make sure to head on over there before it is all over. Also, if you never want to miss a giveaway, make sure to always check the website, bookmark it, and check it daily, even hourly, you know, just to be sure. As for myself, my name is Zach Sharp, signing off until next week's Free to Play Weekly. I'll catch you guys next time.